Hotfix 22.13.3. This was not even worthy of 22.14. Oh, that's a bit of a shame, actually. But this is basically the changes that came with the 100 plus weapons in 22.12 has now arrived for beam-based weapons, and my problem here is you can't buy the Flux rifle. So what I will have to do is refer to the list here, because the first one on here is the Flux rifle, and it's been changed to 22 physical, 22% puncture, 78% slash. Whereas beforehand it was 2.3% impact, 2.3% puncture, and 18% slash, of a total of 22.6. So a little bit less damage. The fire rate, wait, the fire rate's gone up. It used to be 10, it's now 12. From within the energy lab, or the corpus lab as it, well, it didn't really used to be called that. It's now called that. It was originally called the energy lab, and you have to get it from here, and you can only build it. You cannot buy this weapon, which is why I've always liked the Flux rifle. Of course, the ignis is exactly the same. You can't actually buy that, so yet again, oh, wrong wrong link, have to go here. It's had a mastery increase, and even better here has got to be the damage. It used to be 27, it's now 33. Its fire rate used to be 10 though, it's now 8. So they've slowed it down and given it more damage, increased the mastery. Of course, these changes do look bad, because when we look at the Quanta here, it's got a damage of 20. For the record, this used to be 200 damage. Oh, sorry. The secondary fire used to be 200. The normal fire used to be 220. But, and here's where the big buts come into it, it used to have a fire rate of 1. It's now got a fire rate of 12. So really, it's still doing that 200. It is firing quicker than it was before, because it's still got 1. It's got an extra 11 fire rate. So really, this looks bad on paper, going from 200 damage to 20, but the fire rate makes up for it, plus it has an extra 6% status chance, an extra 6% crit chance, and again, it's 50-meter range, and it has stayed unchanged. Then, of course, there is the Quanta Vandal, which pretty much similar kind of things, but it has extra damage over the normal Quanta. Of course, same goes for things like the Glaxian. It's now a mastery rank 8, as you can see here. It used to be a 6. It now does 26 cold damage. It actually used to do 16. It used to have a fire rate of 20. It now has a fire rate of 12. So when you look at these from that kind of perspective, yeah, it's doing a lot more damage, but it is firing slower. Of course, this trend continues. The Convectrix has gone to mastery rank 7. As you can see, it used to be mastery rank 3. It used to do a total damage of 100. It now does a total damage of, well, you can probably tell that is 24 total physical damage, compared to the 100, with it being based more on slash, because it was 80% slash. But it also has a fire rate of 12. It used to have a fire rate of 3. Being full of surprises, the Panthera's secondary here, I didn't know this was classed as a beam weapon. I need to go back and look at a lot of these weapons, because there are weapons on here I completely forgot about. But this, I would agree, this one does sound a lot like a nerf. Its fire rate used to be 3, it's now 2. Its range has been lowered from 6 meters to 5, and its damage is now a total of 100. It used to be 225. The Synapse here used to be a mastery rank 6 weapon. It can also only be built inside of Clan Tech. This one's the Infested Lab, the Bio Lab. Used to be a 6, it's now an 11. It used to do 18 corrosive, it actually still does. The fire rate of 10 is now a fire rate of 12, as you can see there. The status chance used to be 10, it's now 12. Again, this is more of a buff than anything else. There's an additional 20% damage on headshots, and aiming zoom reduced from 2.23 for the scope to 1.5 times, so not as much range as it used to have. The Amprex, actually a pretty decent weapon, is now a mastery rank 10. It used to be a 5. Its damage is now 24. It used to be, yeah, 24. Just making sure of that there. It used to be 7.5. Of course, if the mastery is going up that much, obviously the weapons are going to work much better than they did before. The fire rate, despite it going up, the fire rate's gone down. It used to be 20. It's actually 12 now. So it used to be 7.5 damage. It's now 24, firing a little bit slower. Does start to make sense when you look at it like that. And lastly, for the primaries, the phage. This is now mastery rank 11. It used to be a 6. It used to do 330 damage. It now does 30. That's right, it used to do 330, it now does 30. It used to have a fire rate of 1, but of course, again, just like before, it's now 12. And because it's 12 and not 1, obviously 10 would be 10 times the damage for the fire rate. So 30 with a fire rate of 10 would obviously equal the same kind of damage. Shooting faster with that extra 2 fire rate, so it's actually doing more damage. That's actually good, because this weapon, though it was the vein of my existence for so long, I love this weapon. It is lots and lots and lots of fun. Starting with the secondaries, oh, the poor Gamma Core. This thing came out, it was the best thing around, and it faded very, very quickly. It's still a mastery rank 2 weapon. It does not say that mastery has been changed. It does 16 damage. It used to do 50, and it used to do more than that. This poor thing has lost so much damage over the ages. But yet again, the fire rate of 5, like it used to be, as you can see, actually, where is fire rate on there? Oh, it's 12. Cyanide Gamma Core, kind of the same thing, but the magnetic damage is 20. Oh, I'm an idiot. I spelt it completely wrong. Looking all over the place for the, I keep calling it the Atmos, but the Atomos? Mastery rank 5 used to be a 4. The fire rate is now 8. It used to be 5. And weirdly, the damage used to be 50. It's now 29. Again, falling into that realm of, yes, it's less damage, but the fire rate hasn't gone up that much, so is this really a buff? There's just so much fun can be had with this. It's fun all by itself. But not as much as the Nucore here, which, well, no spoilers if you haven't used it, but this one, way more fun. It's just, I'm not going into that. We're concentrating more on stat changes than anything else. The fire rate of 5 it used to have has been replaced with a fire rate of 10. The damage of 32 it had before is now 22. So again, more of a buff. The Spectra, again, clan-based research for this. It's actually in exactly the same place the Flux rifle is, because it's just a mini handheld version of that. Its fire rate is now 12 over the 5 it was before. Its physical damage used to be 30, spread across all 3 types with just a little bit on impact. Is now based kind of 50-50 between puncture and slash, with 58% slash and 52% puncture. Yeah, as you can see, the numbers down here is a total of 18 damage. That's not so bad, actually. Over double the fire rate, less than half the damage. But this one is a weird one, the Cycron here. is a mastery rank 8. It used to be a 9. It used to do 60 total damage. It now does 23. Of course, the fire rate has gone from 5, like a lot of the other ones, to 12, with increases in status chances now 30%. It was before. The crit chance is 12. Zoom's been lowered a little bit, and the 20-meter range remains unchanged, and it has 1 meter punch through. But it's weird, because this is the first one that's gone from a higher mastery to a lower one, because, as I say, it used to be a 9, it's now an 8. The Embolist has gone from a mastery rank 8 to a mastery rank 9. It can only be built inside of Clan Tech, kind of like some of the other stuff, which is kind of weird, if I'm honest, because I thought this had its own blueprint, but I couldn't find it anywhere. This time I didn't spell it wrong. I did actually check. It's gone from doing 18.5 normal toxic damage to it now does 35, and its fire rate has been lowered from 10 to 8. So even though this has been given the normal aimed reduction, this time to 1.1 from the 2.23 it was at before, this has actually been given a range reduction from 9 meters to 6 meters. So it's got increased mastery, reduced fire rate, reduced damage, increased damage, which goes with the reduced fire rate. It's not... Status has gone to 41. Am I saying that right? It used to be 10. Okay, that actually balances this out fairly nicely. This could actually be, again, a lot of fun to use for a weapon that hasn't been used in a long time. That's kind of the point of the bringing the weapons up to date for these. As always, there will be a link to this in the description below, and I'm actually looking at this, and I think melee weapons are the only thing that hasn't been touched, but to be fair, I'm not sure if they need to be. Just a quick look through here, there's a lot of these that are still usable now from when they first came out, and some of the older ones were made a lot better when stances and such came out, so they may not actually need to be done, but obviously time will tell if they are done. But yeah, there's a reason this is taking a long time, because let's be honest, there is so many different combinations of which weapons you can run. Reworking half of these would take just forever. But anyway, we'll leave this off here for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch yous next time.